You can drive a Honda for years and still not realize when and how you're slowly damaging it, without a single warning light ever coming on. Most owners trigger this damage every single day without knowing it. Today, we're exposing the secret Honda function only 1% of drivers understand. Sounds unbelievable? Let's get into it. But first things first, do you actually even know your car, or do you only know how to use it? We follow the time-tested manual for every car. Start it, drive it, connect your phone, and read the screen. But modern vehicles aren't just machines anymore. They're also rolling computer networks. There are dozens of control modules, memory systems, power management circuits, and software protocols are constantly communicating in the background. But most of it happens invisibly. Manufacturers don't design cars for drivers anymore. They now design them for systems. They assume a level of technical understanding that most owners were never taught. And no, it's not because people are careless, but because automakers don't explain these systems clearly. They're buried in engineering manuals, diagnostic menus, and service procedures, and not owner education. So that's where the disconnect happens. Most of us think pressing a button is simple, but what really happens inside your Honda is far more complex, and most people have been doing it completely wrong their entire life. Drivers think in terms of buttons and pedals. Engineers think in terms of power states, voltage loads, software memory cycles, and electrical architecture. And when those two worlds don't align, the car still works, but it slowly degrades. The batteries weaken and modules glitch. Ultimately, your sensors misbehave with software errors accumulating without a break. But it's not dramatic, it's rather quiet. And as a result, two identical Hondas can age completely differently under the same mileage. One becomes unreliable early, the other stays smooth for years longer, not because of luck, but because of how the systems are used. Cars today are managed ecosystems, and if you don't understand how that ecosystem works, you're interacting with it blindly. The secret function isn't hidden because Honda wants secrecy. It's hidden because most drivers were never taught to look for it. This secret function isn't a button, it isn't a menu setting, and don't worry, it's not a trick. It's Honda's accessory mode plus electrical power management system, a layered digital power architecture built into modern Honda vehicles that most drivers use incorrectly every single day. Older cars were mechanical systems, with one engine, battery, ignition loop, and one power state. But modern Hondas are multi-system networks. Your infotainment system is its own module, your ECU is its own processor, and your safety systems run on independent control units. The sensors can operate on separate circuits, memory systems store data constantly, and software layers stay in standby states. So Honda doesn't use a simple on/off power model anymore. It uses something called the power states. And accessory mode is part of that architecture, not just for radio use, but for controlled system activation. This system manages how the power is distributed, which modules activate, how long systems stay awake, how memory cycles operate, ECUs store data, how the battery load is regulated, or infotainment systems stabilize, how software processes shut down, and voltage is balanced across circuits. In mechanical cars, turning the key meant power on. But in digital cars, power is selective. Some systems wake, sleep, buffer their memory, and some stand on standby. They could also isolate load, protect the battery, or protect software integrity. This is the difference between a machine and a system. But why does all of this even matter? Because every time you use your Honda, you're either working with the system or quietly working against it. And most drivers don't even know the system exists. This is where the real secret lives, and where almost everyone gets it wrong. Modern Hondas run on layered power states, controlling which systems are active, which are dormant, and which quietly draw energy. In true shutdown, the vehicle is genuinely asleep, so the modules aren't communicating, sensors aren't scanning, and processors aren't cycling. Only the baseline power for security remains, keeping the battery and electronics safe. Then there's true accessory mode, the one mode almost no one actually uses correctly. This state isolates power. It allows only low-energy systems to function, which includes your display, audio, basic infotainment, and charging ports. However, the vehicle's brain stays offline. The ECUs do not wake up. Sensor networks stay inactivated. And lastly, we also have the ignition mode, or the silent killer. This is where most drivers think they're in accessory mode, but they're not. Ignition mode wakes the car's nervous system. The ECUs activate. The CAN networks start communicating. Sensors begin scanning. Modules initialize while software layers load. Voltage management systems engage, thermal monitoring activates, and data systems begin cycling. The car is fully awake, even though the engine isn't running. So the battery drains faster, modules heat up, memory cycles, software stability degrades, and electrical systems experience long-term wear. And all of this is just because you're sitting. You could be listening to music, using the screen, charging your phone, or waiting in the car. You think you're being gentle, but you're running the entire digital architecture of the vehicle without the engine stabilizing voltage. The truth is that almost everyone spends their entire ownership using ignition mode when they think they're using accessory mode. But that's just a misunderstanding. And consequently, that's how electrical systems, batteries, modules, and software slowly degrade, not from the miles driven, but from time powered. Dealerships don't teach power state behavior because it isn't part of our sales culture. Manuals technically do explain it, but in fragmented technical language that assumes electrical literacy most of us were never given. There's no real-world translation, no behavioral guidance, and no practical framing that connects power states to battery life, module health, or long-term system stability. The interface doesn't help either. Modern dashboards don't clearly distinguish between true accessory mode and ignition mode in a way that's understandable to non-engineers. A screen turns on, music plays, ports work, so the driver assumes the car is in a safe, low-power state. But visually, ignition mode and accessory mode feel identical, even though electrically they are not. Culturally, people still treat cars like appliances and not systems. We're trained to think in simple mechanical logic, as if engine off simply means nothing is really running. But modern vehicles don't shut down, they go into hibernation. Computers, modules, sensors, networks, and processors operate on layered wake cycles, not binary states. So drivers unknowingly power full digital architectures while stationary, thinking they're being gentle, when in reality they're stressing systems without realizing it. And no, you're not irresponsible, so don't blame yourself for that. It's only because the system was never designed to be understood. We think vehicle failure starts with engines, transmissions, or worn-out mechanical parts. But in modern cars, that's no longer the only rule to look out for, and failure starts silently, electrically, as well as invisibly. So we come to the part that most aren't able to connect, which is that many of those problems don't come from driving. They come from how the car is powered when it's not moving. Modern Hondas have layers of electrical ecosystems. So when power states are misused, the battery is very much chemically stressed. Deep discharge cycles shorten battery lifespan, weaken cold start performance, and create unstable voltage delivery. That instability doesn't stay isolated, it travels through the system. Alternators compensate by working harder, creating heat and load stress. Control modules overheat from prolonged partial activation. ECUs experience repeated wake and sleep cycles that accelerate internal wear. Software systems don't crash dramatically, they fragment. Memory errors accumulate and data packets corrupt. Infotainment systems also begin lagging, freezing, or desyncing. The Bluetooth connections become unreliable. Warning lights appear with no clear cause. Error codes show up that disappear after resets, all of which seem to be ghost faults and don't point to any mechanical failure, but only electrical instability. Parasitic drain becomes chronic. Systems never fully rest. Modules never fully sleep. The car exists in a constant semi-awake state. This is why modern cars fail electronically first, and then maybe mechanically. And most owners never realize they caused it. If this is already changing how you see your car, hit the subscribe button because this channel is about understanding vehicles, which is more than simply driving them. Now comes the point where everything comes together, because longevity in modern cars is no longer just about oil changes, fluids, and service intervals. It's about system behavior. Most Honda owners never realize this secret until their battery dies or electronics start acting up. Do you want to avoid that? Because what really matters is how you use your car's electrical states directly shapes how long its core systems survive. Proper power state usage preserves battery chemistry, prevents deep cycle stress, and avoids premature capacity loss. It reduces alternator overload by preventing aggressive recharge cycles that wear internal components and voltage regulators. It protects ECUs by limiting unnecessary wake cycles, reducing thermal stress on microprocessors, and preventing constant memory rewriting that degrades internal storage over time. Infotainment systems last longer because they aren't being force-powered and force-shut repeatedly, which prevents software corruption, firmware instability, and boot loop failures. Sensors remain more reliable because control modules aren't constantly reinitializing and recalibrating under unstable voltage conditions. Electrical systems stay stable because the vehicle's network architecture isn't being overloaded with unnecessary module communication and background processes. So software health matters more than most people realize. Nowadays, vehicles are rolling operating systems. So stable power management means cleaner updates, fewer corrupted files, fewer glitches, fewer ghost codes, and fewer unexplained system failures that turn into expensive dealership diagnostics. And this is the shift that most drivers need to understand and make. According to our old mindset, we saw maintenance as a sign of longevity, but the new reality reaches us that system behavior is what actually shows longevity. Maintenance does keep the parts alive, but system discipline keeps the car healthy. And that's the difference between a vehicle that simply survives and one that stays stable, reliable, valuable, and functional for years beyond its expected lifespan. Longevity today isn't just mechanical endurance, it's digital preservation. Using this system properly is simple, but the difference it makes is massive. When you enter your Honda, don't press the brake pedal. This is the most important rule. Pressing the brake automatically pushes the car into ignition mode or ready mode, which activates high-load systems, wakes multiple control modules, and engages unnecessary power draw. What you should do instead is press the start button once without the brake. This places the car into true accessory mode, which is the low power state designed specifically for safe electronics use. You'll know you're in true accessory mode because the infotainment system powers on, basic displays activate, and you can use media, navigation, charging ports, and phone connectivity. But the engine systems, sensors, ECU networks, and drivetrain modules remain dormant. This is the mode you should use for charging your phone, listening to music, using navigation, waiting in the car, taking calls, running Bluetooth, or sitting with the screen on. It gives you functionality without electrical stress. Ultimately, what you should not do is sit in ignition mode while parked. Don't press the button twice thinking you're being safer. Don't leave your car in high power states just to use the screen. Don't idle unnecessarily for electronics. And yes, never ever assume that engine off means system off. The behavioral shift is simple. Now the electronics use equals the accessory mode, driving refers to the ready mode, and waiting means to enter the low power state. When you build this habit, you reduce battery strain, prevent module cycling, protect software stability, and preserve the entire electrical ecosystem of the car. It's not only about being careful, but also about being correct. What most fail to realize is that modern Hondas are powered by an entire stacked infrastructure of digital power management, quietly working in the background every second the car exists. So instead of being a collection of features, it's a layered architecture. At the base level, there's electrical load management logic constantly deciding where power is allowed to flow and where it's restricted. Above that, smart alternator regulation dynamically controls charging output based on demand, temperature, and system stress, so not just the engine speed. Then comes ECU sleep cycle protection, which determines when control modules are allowed to enter low power states, when they wake, and how often they're cycled to prevent memory corruption and thermal fatigue. Power module prioritization determines which systems get energy first. Software cache control manages how data is stored, refreshed, and purged across multiple onboard systems. And the power routing hierarchy decides how electricity physically moves through the vehicle's architecture. None of this is visible. Neither does it have any buttons nor menus. Because it's not designed for users' easy access, it's designed for the vehicle's longevity. This is the hidden Honda system stack, a whole digital nervous system that keeps the car stable, healthy, and reliable, but only if the driver uses the power states correctly. So rather than interacting with a car, it's better to think of it as interacting with an operating system. And once you understand that, everything changes. Understanding your Honda goes beyond turning the key. Every system, sensor, and module relies on hidden power management logic, and how you use it determines your car's lifespan. Drivers who respect these hidden behaviors reduce the stress on their batteries, electronics, and software, keeping their vehicle reliable for years. So mastering this secret system isn't about mechanics, it's also a smart interaction, and can add decades of life to your car, without a single extra repair bill. If this changed how you see your Honda, drop a comment with 1%, and let others know any insider knowledge that you know of. And hey, if you want more hidden systems, real longevity strategies, and secrets most drivers will never be taught, hit subscribe. See you in the next video.